What's up, fishing fam? Monday Night Live on the regular night, on the nights that we actually do lives. But yeah, had an interesting day. Of course, I think I got too much ranting and raving earlier in the day and shot my voice out. And now I got to drink a little OJ because this stupid air is starting to tickle my throat. And I hate transitional time of year, always drives me insane. Even though we're, what, it seems like a good month early to this fall pattern. We've already got leaves starting to turn and change and drop and blow around. A little bit cooler nights, but as you all know, it's never over till it's over. I never put the air conditioners away like in my man cave until after Thanksgiving because I know there's always another heat blast that's going to come. Our guest, Gregory, is actually in the green room. He went to go grab his charger for his laptop. He's running around like a chicken with his head caught off, just like I am. He's getting ready to depart and head that way tomorrow up to Wisconsin from Ohio. And I will be leaving out first thing Wednesday morning. I was going to try to take off about half day from work and drive up there tomorrow afternoon so I can be ready to kind of pre-fish on Wednesday, but I can't get out of work. We got too much going on. The fact that I'm out the rest of the week is good, but yeah, it's just one of those things. So what I'm going to do is and one of the other things I almost was going to push it, trying to spend too much time tonight getting everything packed and ready to go. And then I would already be behind on sleep. And I'm not playing the game that I played at the national championship for KBF, where I went down there tired and was never to get caught up. I'm going to make sure I get a good night's rest tomorrow night after work, be ready to go, get up at my regular 4:30 a.m. and get myself ready and get on the road so I can be up in Wisconsin by sometime Wednesday afternoon. If you've been following along in the squad chat, fellow Indiana angler Alex Deneau, Army veteran, is also going to be up there. And hey, we're going to team up and do the team event as Freedom Squad. So that's really cool. Alex is a smallmouth guy. He's had this passion for a long time that, I mean, man, I'm the more I chase these bronze, the more I am super excited. It's like me being 15 again, learning to bass fish all over. So I see Drew back at his desk when he gives me a wave that he's all plugged in. There's the thumbs up. We will go ahead and bring him in. What's up, brother? Dude, I can't tell you how excited I am. So pumped.
Hey,
I'm so pumped. I have been trying to learn, a little bit more about smallies here and there over the, the last several weeks. And, I learned a hard lesson at this. I learned a hard lesson at the Susky, but I mean, I'm even more driven to go back. I tried to play it safe and fish above the dam, which was cool. Before the rain came in, it kind of clouded everything up. But honestly, dude, I caught fish well in practice below and above the dam. But I kind of had a little thing going above the dam where I felt a little safer at the time. And then, of course, it rained and clouded things up. And I haven't even put that video out yet. But the fact that I was able to catch some and put them on the board, I was on Bass Tracks, that was cool. And I love watching you guys, I love watching, everybody that I love to follow along with just do what they do and just smash them. But I'm going to tell you what, bro, I've lost like 70 pounds over the last year and a half. And I'm even more motivated to continue that, that trend because Gene and Chad and I all kind of started this thing and Gene's been smoking it. But I am now where Gene started. So seeing where he's at now just motivates me even more. But I'm telling you, dude, these dang little brown fish, I've spent a couple of weekends on the rivers up north up here, trying to learn a little more. Got the kayak all rigged. I know I'm going to build a river yak down the road. And I get it. I'm leaving all the graphs and everything I'm on, only bringing motor and battery and 6 rods and what I think smallies are going to eat. But dude, I am so pumped just to get up there. I'm like pumped, a kid at Christmas all over again. So I was glad that I was actually able to work this out where I could get off some more time from work so I could come up and do this. And
yeah, buddy.
I'm really stoked.
Sorry if I was distracted there. I just tapped in my audience. I just linked my Facebook and YouTube. So now we are live on my stuff as well. So we should
Excellent.
hopefully pull a few more people in. And last minute, little Smalley talk, a little Kayak Adventure Series Wisconsin Riverfest talk, which is kind of where we're about to
Yes.
go to catch these smallies. And you
Yep.
got the bug. You're itching for some more smallmouth after you got the bug over there on the Susquehanna. And I am too, man. I don't get to fish these tournaments, but since I run them, I don't feel like it would be right to fish them
Yeah, I
since
get
I'm
it.
kind of making the rules. I'm picking the locations. Like, yeah, it wouldn't work. It doesn't work out very well for, a guy on the Major League Fishing circuit that does that. that
Yeah,
runs
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Won't
I
drop
mean,
names, but yeah, I'm just not gonna
I'm
do that.
sure you're going to find yourself on the water at some point in time, out there
Exactly.
enjoying it. You as the tournament director, overseer of things. But I mean, again, your willingness to put aside your wanting to fish to draw guys like me
Yeah.
and others, and it's evident when it's not just about, oh, there's a pro
Right.
tournament that's tied with it. When you have a Dink Master series for somebody like me,
Yeah, the micro bag.
and I know
Yeah.
that's even hard to win because I've heard the same person's won it like 3 times.
Well, I'll say this: she's the micro queen. That's what we call her. She's
Yeah.
won 3 in a row. Now, and it's not nothing. I mean, like, there's been 19 people at one event in the micro bag division. There's, I forget, 12 or 13 and the other 2 that she won. But a lot of those people are entering that event as sort of a little low-key insurance policy, a $25 insurance
Oh,
policy
yeah.
for if their macro bag, let's call it that, their biggest 5, aren't working out so well by the time midday of day 2, Saturday, they sort of know they can veer off, and it's a winner take all. Glenda at one
Yeah.
event, when we had about 20 in it, won $500 in the microbag division. It's literally winner take all. We don't take out Tourney X fees. We actually lose money on that, but we wanted to make it kind of exciting. So I think if more people focus fully on it, I think every event we've only had like 3 or 4 who are really like only doing that. However, that's going to change. As you can see, there's some fun to be had there. Everyone's figuring
Yeah.
that out. There's some money to be made. It's just as equal of a challenge to catch the smallest 5, which when you have that minimum of 5 inches. So the way it works, guys, and we'll get into all this, minimum of 5 inches for the micro bag, presented by Z-Man Micro Finesse for the Kayak Adventure Series. And so it's minimum of 5 inches and maximum of 9.75. So anything that's single digits, right? It has to be 5, because if it gets too much smaller than that, we can't even see the fish on the board very well. We can't tell if it's the same fish if someone tries to score it twice, and you're only allowed 1 finger on the fish
1
when you hold
finger.
them
Yeah,
down,
I saw
or none, is even better. But
But
so
how you're going to take a picture of a fish that small without using a finger? Because those things are impossible to photograph. Me and a bunch of us in the Freedom Squad, we always have our personal leasts. So we've got a squad chat going on year round. And the goal is I think right now the smallest fish that somebody's caught, I think this year, is maybe like 6 inches. I posted like a 6-something smallie the other day. But
it's hard,
we
man.
understand how hard it is to get a good picture of a small fish.
It's a challenge. The picture to me, they'll eventually calm down, just like the bigger fish. They do, but the challenge to me is, and isn't it exciting? We're leading off with the micro bag. That's how cool this
I know.
series is. It's like there's so many cool things you can do and choose and ways to win, and the team division, the individual, and then this micro bag. But I'll share the screen. I might have you can pull that screen in. I might have a little picture, let's see, of a recap on one of these. I don't know if we had it up there, but you can go, oops, actually I hit the wrong thing. If you go to events and you go to 2024 recap articles, you guys can see that time and effort that, Hank has put in to writing these articles, and I kind of help him with it too, kind of proof it and add a few little things. But I want to say we may have pulled in a picture. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The Keystone Theater. Wow.
Yeah.
But this is what you guys are going to get, a nice detailed recap of your adventures, any of the coverage we have at the Wisconsin Riverfest, the Torpedo individual division right here. You can see this is the way it's going to look after this event. So we'll pull in some of the best photos from Tourney X. We'll pull in some cool photos from the theater, which we're going to have a unique actual presentation awards ceremony at a slightly different location. We made a slight last minute change, which we can maybe talk about, but it's going to be really, really exciting and neat. But if I have a picture of Glenda here, there she is. Let's see if, oh yeah, here we go. So that's a new record though. That's actually a 5. and we've never had a 5 before. That is our first 5 in a Kayak Adventure Series tournament. So that's what you're looking for. That is your essentially a 22 incher. You know what I mean? Like smallmouth. And you need 5 of those. And you might say, "Oh, that sounds easy." Oh, trust me, go try. Go try that. It is not easy, guys. Because it's a whole other. It's funny. It's a whole other strategy because you got to think about when the spawn was. Okay, the spawn. So right now this event's in September, right? So we actually could get a 5-inch fish that spawned this year. You see what I'm saying? That could be 5 by now. If you got some spawners that happen in May, you know what I'm saying? Which they probably did spawn in May. So it's perfect. This is a perfect storm for someone to actually get some 5s. Because if you're trying to catch fish in Georgia or Alabama that are 5 inches in September, good luck because they're 7 and 8. So you actually would have to go to a small creek or a side channel or somewhere you feel like is not as healthy, so they don't have as much food base. So, and then actually try to find water that's colder, because then you would try to find fish that's spawn down south if this was Alabama or Georgia in like May or June somehow. You know what I mean? Like right now, you want to find fish that's in this Wisconsin Riverfest. You want to think about where would they have spawned earliest. So probably the lake, Lake Wisconsin, where it gets warmer, and still water, so that they could actually get to 5, right? Because otherwise, you're catching last year's fish, and they're 10, 11 inches right now, so you're not winning nothing with those. So it's like this cool strategy. You got to solve the puzzle, figure it out, and then they're hard to keep on the hook. The smaller they are, the harder they are to hook and keep on the hook. So it's a crazy fun.
Because even if you're throwing like a little TRD or something, they may just have their mouth wrapped around it and not even have the hook in their mouth,
And you better be throwing stuff even smaller than that. You better be throwing the Z-Man Micro Finesse baits, those teeny, I wish I had some sitting here, those teeny little, the new TRD worms, or the little, teeny like stingers, and just teeny little stuff with tiny hooks, and go and fish in places that you've never thought to fish before because it's so shallow it wouldn't have any big fish.
I'm actually glad you said that, because I need to grab my little bitty rod and reel combo just so for fun. That, because I will forget if I don't do it.
Fly rod.
Oh man! Oh,
that worked. Fly rod.
I actually had somebody throwing fly rod and 2 old dudes float tubing in where I was trying to fish a tournament this weekend. So I think I'm going to have the juice all to myself, and I had company, but I'm not going to say anything. They were out having a good time just like I was. I wasn't going to win that tournament. I was just out trying to learn how to catch smallmouth. So let's start with this event. Talk about Kayak Adventure Series. Talk about this event, everything that we got going across the board. I'm going to grab this rod and set it over here with my other rods.
I'm going to roll it.
I'll just make that big, and boom.
Yeah, make it big. Let's do it. All right, I'll walk you guys through this event. So the Wisconsin River is one of these places that's like, I think we're going to expose something in the kayak fishing world. I really do. That could be a new national venue, because it's not quite as far as La Crosse for most people. La Crosse is further up, and La Crosse is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but this has all the above. You know what I mean? It's got your smallies, it's got your largies, it's got Lake Wisconsin that's formed by the Wisconsin River. So it's pretty cool. September 6th and 7th, still time to register. You guys can register until Thursday. You guys can see all the details here. Now, normally we would do our awards show at a theater. That's the way the Kayak Adventure Series works. But at the last minute, we decided to change up a little bit, call an audible, just because we might outfill this theater. It's a small theater, but also the main reason is because the theater's 2 miles away from where we're going to have our festival. On Saturday when the anglers return, there's a festival of food, music, games, kayak demos, e-bike demos, Toyota truck demos, just all kinds of cool stuff going on. And the best place for that is right at this Riviera Pizza and Bowl, which is right on the water. And there's also Vintage Brewing that's right there next door. So it's kind of like in between these two. I'll show you in a minute what Vintage Brewing looks like. That's where we're going to have our opening ceremonies and check-in. But we said, you know what? It's kind of tough because in Wisconsin, we're going to be eating cheese curds and drinking beer. We really don't want people to get in a car and have to drive two miles down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we want to keep them all right here. So we're actually going to see all those screens where the bowling alley keeps your score for the lanes. we're going to take over this bowling alley and we're going to put all the videos that we would normally put up on the big screen of the theater, and we're going to put them up on that screen and have you guys a special stage and just a little special venue there. That way we can stay at the bowling alley and the pizzeria and stay there afterwards and bowl and have a good time eating pizza and having fun, live music and all that good stuff right on the water. And that's our after party location. So it's pretty cool. We're going to actually switch it up a little bit. I know it's not the norm, but I think it's going to make more sense. But that's the beautiful Wisconsin River, guys. I mean, you can see it's a wide, big river and plenty of fishable water for everybody, no matter what your style is. So, whoops, one too many there. So you can check, if you want to go check out the website here, it's kayakadventureseries.com, and you can register. Click on any of the divisions you want to register. You can register in them all. And this event's presented by Feel Free Kayak. So thank you to Feel Free. Every event has a kayak manufacturer assigned to it, and they donate a kayak that we raffle off for pediatric cancer. So very cool. We've raised quite a bit of money. I want to say probably like $4,000 or $5,000 already for pediatric cancer. So that's pretty cool. And that's the last thing we'll do at the bowling alley is raffle off that Feel Free Kayak. Your identifiers there to print out if you can't make it to the opening ceremonies at the Vintage Brewing. But anyway, all this stuff's going on. We got the Badger State Kayak Fishing Championship holding an event jointly with us, their actual championship event, which is cool. And then you can just read all about it right here. An optional welcome dinner on Wednesday, opening ceremonies Thursday. Friday, this is critical to mention. Friday, we have seminars during our Bass U brunch, which is no pre-fishing allowed. Our event starts on Friday from 3 to 7, so you can't fish Friday. You can drive around and scout and do all that, but no getting on the water. But instead, we're going to have our Bass U brunch, where we do seminars and have breakfast, brunch, whatever you want to call it. And Josh Shrinko is the host of a Smalley Talk podcast and a Sheegan brand, owner of a Sheegan brand, is going to do a seminar. Jeff Little and I are going to do a seminar. Christine Fisher is going to do a seminar. So it's going to be a good time. And you can just click register right there to register for that. It's $30 is suggested, quote unquote. If you only have $1, just change the amount to $1. But if you guys can afford 30, that's awesome. That helps us out with our costs. And
I already put my $30 in.
Awesome, man. We appreciate that.
I'm going to be sitting there learning.
Yeah. And it's at Wilderness Fish and Game, which is the outdoor store right there, conveniently next to the bowling, right? Connected to that bowling alley and pizzeria and next to the brewery. Everything's kind of in one central location. So, cool. But on Thursday, I did forget to mention before I gloss over that, we will be at Vintage Brewing, which looks like this down here. Vintage Brewing, side of our opening ceremony social. It's right on the water. It's gorgeous. It is beautiful, guys. And it's going to have so much fun. We're going to have so much fun there because after we get done checking in, it's the first NFL game of the season, guys. We're going to sit there and hang out all night and celebrate together and watch the game if you want to stick around. And why wouldn't you? Because there's no reason to really get to bed early, because the way we structure our series is very, very well thought out. We don't have to be anywhere until 10 a.m. for the Bass U brunch the next day, and don't have to be on the water until 3, which means you're probably driving to the water at 1 or something, right? So you can push each other in the bushes, have too much to drink if you accidentally do or whatever, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and still be just fine to, get to the water by 3 o'clock and get on the water and not miss anything. But hopefully we'll see you at the brunch to recover a little bit and learn a few things on Friday. Closing ceremony social is back at Vintage Brewing and the Riviera Pizza and Bowl. We'll have kayak demos there. We'll have, like I said, all that fun stuff we'll have, the Toyotas, the e-bikes. With e-bikes, actually the grand prize, this Upco bike that we have here, it's a $5,000 e-bike. So it's the grand prize for the AOI. One of the prizes, AOI package is around 10 grand. So that's going to be fun. You can see the recommended lodging, all that stuff, guys. There's the bowling alley and pizzeria right there. It's going to be a ton of fun. So I'm excited. All the information is here, and I don't really know. Eligible water is listed here. There's not really a lot else. There's a picture of Wilderness Fish and Game. The store has it all, guys. Has it all. So I will stop sharing the screen, I guess, and we can chat about the event or Smallies or whatever. But I'm excited,
all of it, yeah,
because people are really seemed to enjoy this format. The format and structure is it's just very, I don't know, conscious of, and the rule set is, how can we help people who are taking their precious time? They could be doing anything else, right? And coming and fishing with us and having an experience and believing that we're sending them to one of the coolest locations in the country to catch fish. And so how can we help them have more fun and catch more fish and bigger fish? And if there's any way we can do it, we literally have changed our rules and said, like for example, portaging or trolling. We allow trolling. We allow 2 rods at one time. There's anything we can do to make your life easier. We do that. So that's kind of the Kayak Adventure series. And we want you to explore and adventure. You can use live scope and power poles and motors, all the bells and whistles that we love about kayak fishing, but also you can do the whole 2-3 rod thing, put in at any public access, canoe and kayak launch, bridge that has public right of way, wildlife management areas, however creatively you want to do it. We're just celebrating the diversity of everybody out there. You know what I mean? And the styles of kayak fishermen and people. And so we just want to celebrate all that. So that's kind of our unique format. And it seems to be working good because the winners from these events, as you look at those recap articles, have come from the main lake, or like the top 10, let's say 3 of the people will be on the main lake and 3 will be in a river and 3 will be in a creek, or a couple others will be on a wildlife management area or somewhere that was in bounds. It's different, or if it, so it's really working, man. It's not like one style is dominating over the other. So it's the MMA, right? It's just a bunch of different styles of fighters coming into one octagon and having it out. So anybody out there, I'm looking at comments, have any questions, hit me up. It's gonna be exciting. Can't wait to see you guys there.
So well, I saw like in the registration thing where the who was it? I always call them the burly guys. The aggressive anglers are Jeff and Paul going to be there, or
they couldn't make this one? Unfortunately, they couldn't. They wanted to, but they have the whole kids family thing going on, and and it's tough sometimes for them to make it. But here's who's going to be there. It's actually a star-studded, field. Now it's $150 for the individual division, which is a fair amount less, like half the cost of some of your bigger elite national level tournaments. But it still is enough to where you start getting enough people in these things, and your winners walking away with $5, $6, $7,000.
Oh yeah.
But so you still attract some of the big names, which is nice, because even though the series is lower intimidation and a lot of beginners and intermediate anglers fish it, it is still nice to attract some of the big names, because A, you get a chance to fish against them, and that's kind of exciting to see how you stack up. But B, you get to rub shoulders with them, because there's a lot of built-in fellowship time, whether it's the Thursday night opening ceremonies, the Friday brunch, the Saturday after party, awards and after party. And people tend to all come back to the awards because it's Saturday night. You can drive home Sunday. It's really, so we do attract a few big names. So we got Christine Fisher is fishing this one, and she said that she feels the Wisconsin River is better than the Susquehanna. If that tells you anything. And actually, go look at I was
going to say she's posting some big fish today. I don't know if she's anywhere near there already, but
she might
she's
be
hammering them somewhere.
Not. She's north. I think she was further north than the Wisconsin River, but it's all just as good. You keep going down, it's still just as good. But but let's see. I know that if you go to our Instagram, we did post a big fish. Travis Von Newman never fished there in his life. He rolls up, and from the bank, it looks like he's on his Instagram. It's private, so you have to go to the Kayak Adventure Series story we posted of his screenshot of his story. He got like a 21 incher on his second cast ever up there in the Wisconsin River. So
I did see that.
It's pretty, it's pretty awesome. But back to the big names. So Christine Fisher, Jeff Little, Josh Drinko, John Dalton, who's Creek Fishing Adventures on YouTube. Go follow him. Good follow. You got Jake Hepner, who's always at these events with me, my executive producer that's awesome on social media. If you don't follow Jake, it's IL Yakin, Illinois Yakin, Il Yakin. So anyway, follow him. Obviously, I'll be there. We've got Brad and Matt from the Catch podcast. You guys probably seen the Catch podcast. Matt Satters and Brad Hicks. They're going to be there. We got the manufacturers from the folks from Feel Free are going to be there, including Mike McKinstry, the Bass Squatch hunter, who I know you guys know him kind of in your neck of the woods and north in
Yeah,
Michigan,
he
where
was
he's from.
out at the boat sport and travel show earlier
Yeah,
this year.
so a lot of cool celebrities, big names. I'm probably missing somebody, for sure I am, but that's okay. I'll you guys will see them there, and you can rub shoulders and learn from them, because
Yep.
I know some people might think that we're, I don't know, like that people you follow, on TV or whatever, when you meet them, they're just kind of like, out of reach or not down to earth. That's not true with the kayak fishing community one bit.
Yep.
We'll happily talk to anyone about anything, help them out. And that's what we're excited. And that's the point of this series, right? So, and then the other point, of course, presented by GoPro. So we want you guys to film with your GoPro so we can pull up that footage on that screen and get a cool shot. And we give away a GoPro Hero 12 Black for whoever captures the biggest bass on video. So it doesn't have to be the big bass of the event, just the biggest one that someone captured. Get it to us. And we got a spot on our website that's pretty easy. You just click on submit footage and just trim it down to a minute real quick or 30 seconds, send it. And we'll put it up there. And that's part of the fun, is watching all that footage that just happened that day or the previous day on Friday. And another thing to keep in mind with these big names, if you're ever a little bit like on the fence, first of all, there's only like a few, quote unquote, big names for national that fish every event. So even if they beat you, it's like they can only take up one spot, right? But here's the thing. Here's a little secret I'm going to tell you about. The more days and the more fish you allow, like a PGA Tour golf tournament, right? The more days, the better golfers end up rising to the top. And our event is just 5 fish. So the more fish we would allow, right?
Yep.
The more likely a big name would eventually, if this was a 3 or 4 day tournament or 2-day that was 5 fish each day, 10 fish, the more likely. But anybody can not, I'm not going to say luck into, because it's not luck, but any beginner or intermediate has enough skill to hook in and catch 5 in a day and a half of fishing, which Saturday is a long day. I think you got from 6:30 till 3. So you get, plus 4 hours on Friday. Anybody can get 5 good ones and win. So somebody else might catch more fish than you or whatever, but you get the right 5. Somebody else might catch 50. You might catch 15. But if your biggest 5 beat theirs, doesn't matter. No one will ever know that. It doesn't matter. So it's pretty cool to see this format give everyone a real shot at coming away with, one of our beautiful catch trophies. It looks similar to this one right here, actually, that we hand out. So we'll have our merch there as well. For you guys
now we're
check
talking.
out and buy. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, dude. I cannot wait. I'm trying to think. There's I don't know. We could.
Well,
shift gears,
and here's another reason why I wanted
this.
to. It's and especially I like this too, because it's high competition if you want to go that way. It's low competition if you just want to go and have fun, which is what you make it all about. And I roll with a group of veterans and patriots, call ourselves the Freedom Squad, and every year we keep talking about where we want to do our reunions and whatnot. And I have said, and I was talking to my brother about this, these kind of events are the perfect kind of a thing where we can settle on, like next year when you kind of go through everything, we look and say, okay, that's our destination. Everybody plan to go do that. Because like you said, you could be competing in all these different other things, but then you have groups of anglers like us. It's like, little smack talking going on in the micro bag, or who did the best and against the pros and the hammers. And, you just make it, you truly have a fun. But for us, it's a great way to have a reunion and just travel around with wherever you guys go without it being too much pressure, too long. Like you said, multiple days.
Yeah, plus, one day waking up early. That's it. One day to wake up early. That's it. So, which I know, I mean, a lot of guys, man, it really wears you out. A big national level tournament, and I love fishing it, obviously. I mean, this is what I love to do. But it'll wear you out, dude. So sometimes you just need a break and just do something a little bit more laid back like this. And it helps get a lot more people into tournament fishing. And maybe they move up and fish a Hobie or Bassmaster or whatever. That's our goal, is to just kind of make a low intimidation. And then the lowest intimidation, I think, is forget the micro bag, is that team division. Like you just talked about. You guys are going to team up and do the 2-man team division, right? Well, that's only $75. So if you
Yep.
just want to spend just $75 and just enter the team with somebody else, it's just 150 per team, 75 a person, then just do that. And then
Yep.
you're kind of in the game, you're having fun, you're not out a lot of money if it doesn't go your way, and you get a little experience, and you've got the camaraderie. You got, you can ride with that person if you live near them. Obviously, you're traveling from the same
Yep.
area, same state. You can strategize with that person. It gives you somebody to bounce off ideas, and you can communicate with other anglers. Like most tournaments, you can talk to other anglers in the tournament on the water. Can't use your cell phone. And obviously, if a person in the tournament, if it's an individual tournament and there isn't a team division, the guy is most likely not going to give you a tip because he's competing against you. But if it's your teammate, they probably will, because you obviously want to help each other figure out the puzzle. And if it happens to be that you're both in the individual division and you give your buddy a tip, your teammate a tip, and he passes you, well, that just is what it is. You're still going to help the team, and that person can only take one spot anyway, even if he passes you. But that's a really, really fun part about our series, is that 2-man team division. I'm excited.
Well, for me, I'm jumping into it. I've got my partner is a smally dude. And for me, it's going to be like a mentorship. It's like I told him, I said, I plan on filming him most of the day, kind of like Jeff does with you guys. Of course, I'm going to be fishing too, trying, my goal in life this year is to catch a 20. That's my quest, and if it happens, it happens. But you're putting us on a fishery where there's going to be a lot of smallmouth bass.
Oh yeah.
And what I'm really looking forward to is as our boy says, have some ripped up thumbs and, just enjoy that too. So I'm looking forward. I love this kind of stuff too. And I'll tell you this too, is I actually found an empty gap, I think, in our space. And I'm going to fill it because there's not really a wired to fish for kayak bass fishing. So I'm starting one, and it's going to be called Everything Kayak Fishing.
Love
and that's literally going to be that place where, especially for beginners, it's going to be a resource, a hub. We talk about all the different accessories, the kayaks, the crescents, the old towns. If I am anything, I love to talk, and I've got a passion. And over the last few years, I've met you, Russ, Christine. I have a resource of awesome people to tap in and share that knowledge, especially with new kayak anglers, because I think this sport is just going to keep growing. I think boats are going to price themselves out. Gas is going to keep going crazy. And I think a lot of people are going to find what we love. What do you paddle, power, or pedal, however you want to do it. And I was sitting here thinking, it's not like I'm not busy enough, not fishing enough and not doing enough of my own YouTube videos. But I was like, you know what? There's an empty gap here. And we're going to start working on that over the winter. And I've already put together, I'll send you our logo just to tell me what you think about it, because I know you just kind of went through all this too. But I've already talked to Duke and John at Yak Attack, and I got the juices flowing. I want to keep, because you know me, you guys fish professionally. I'm about promoting the support, especially veteran recreational therapy. But great for your mental health, great for being outdoors. We all share the same passion, whether in it to make a living or just to help others. And that's why I just want to keep going with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go see Drew. I told you I was going to come. I was going to find one. And I was so glad I was able to squeeze it in this year before next year, especially since I've just been all hooked on trying to catch these bronze. So to me, this will be the first perfect one for me to be able to get to. And I'm going to love that. I can't wait, dude. I'm like a kid waiting for Christmas countdown.
When's this takeover? When y'all do a takeover every year? How's that work? Is that
for which?
Well, they're talking in the comments about the takeover be awesome as long as it's not more than a 15-hour drive. Freedom Squad takeover.
Oh, they're wanting like everybody from around the country for us to come to one of the KAS events and just be there in full force and show our support.
I don't know if you guys are. I don't know if you guys are doing anything. The Broodstock is October 4th and 5th, but that might be the conflicting. There might be some else conflicting.
The Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series down at KBF.
But next year, our schedule is on the site. And anyone who's not doing that Knucklehead, is the Knucklehead, it's not really, there's like a team for that, right? That's already set.
There's several YouTube teams like Gene and
so it's not
Fishing Adventures, Rudd, all of us have teams.
It's not an open
No, they have to compete 4
Yeah.
months, and each month a person wins, and they win a spot on the team.
Right.
But
So
next year we'll definitely be finding
mhm.
an event for sure.
So we'll definitely and then the people who aren't doing that aren't part of this Freedom Squad, right? Because
Yep.
I mean, I think it's incredible. I mean, people may not know this, but I didn't serve personally, but my dad did and my grandfather
Yep.
did. So it's important to me. We're actually almost talked about it. There's one event that has a real tie to veterans next year that I haven't announced yet. It's the only one I haven't announced yet, but I want to share the screen so you guys can start to
If
plan.
that's going to be there, that's going to be
Trust
the
me,
one.
and Chad is going to be at a lot of our events next year as well.
Yep.
He's supporting it with bonus bucks for KBF. He's supporting it in person. He's gonna really try to cover, as KBF kind of cover
Mhm.
a lot of the other events and support them in that way, which is awesome. Excited for that to be a part of 2025 KES. So we're going to start in Florida because obviously we want to get out of the cold, winters.
Oh
So
yeah.
February 21 and 22. Now keep in mind, this is the weekend after President's Day. So which is critical for our scheduling, why we did that. So you can come the weekend prior. If you already got President's Day off, then great. But for Kayak Adventure Series tournaments, you kind of already have to take off. Our
Yep.
tournament starts Friday. So you kind of have to already take off, Thursday or Friday. Thursday and Friday, or just Friday if you live close enough. But most people usually are fishing the week of, right? But anyway, that's one last day you got to take off. And you could get there that previous weekend, Saturday, roll in Friday, Saturday, fish the entire week in Florida. And you only got to take off 3 extra days than you normally would. Because you obviously, like I said, Friday is when
Yep.
it starts. You definitely have to take that off. So it really is a cool time to be down there because it's good weather still. It's usually in the 60s, 70s, could be 80s even. You get a warm front. The fish are still biting top water. They never stop. And that has some lakes and bounds that are like the top list, the top lake on Bassmaster's top 100 list. Orange Lake is in bounds for that event. So that's like
Okay.
number one right now. I'm pretty sure it's number one right now. Or maybe it's number one in the Southeast. It might just be the Southeast number one, but I want to say it might be even number one. But anyway, there's the Aqualaha River. There's the I want to say the Withlacoochee River. There's, which is on the list. Lake Rousseau, Withlacoochee's on their top list. So is I think Aqualaha and Rodman Reservoir, which is in bounds. It's crazy how many top lakes that Bassmaster lists are in our boundary there. So that's one to potentially consider. That's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
And then March 28th and 29th, it's the weekend after the Bassmaster Classic. And so it's already in Texas, an hour and a half away from the Classic. So if you want to go experience the Bassmaster Classic, roll into that, experience it, and then head on over to Paris, Texas, where we're going to fish. There's about 4 or 5 lakes and bounds, but Lake Bodark is the next Lake Fork. They just opened it this year. It's like a 15,000 acre lake, which is rare that we ever make lakes that big anymore. But they've been stocking it since like 2019 with offspring of a 14-pound share lunker. So they're building, and they flooded the forest, the swamp, and they just left it flooded. It's made for bass fishing. That lake is literally, for other than the water and the energy they're going to obviously get from making lakes. They're like, hey, they know how much money Lake Fork is bringing in and all the lakes in Texas.
Yeah.
So they keep track of that very well. And they spend a lot of money with their Toyota Share Lunker program. And they stock that lake literally every fish in there has got the genetics to get giant. And they're already catching 10-pounders. They stocked it in 2019, dude. They're already catching 9s and 10s.
That's
they
crazy.
might be 21 inches, but they weigh that much. So imagine what they're going to be like when we get there next year. It's going to be epic. So and then May 2nd and 3rd, the South Boston Bassathon in South Boston, Virginia. That's right on the border of Virginia and North Carolina. So it's a little battle between a few different lakes and bounds. You got Bugs Island, Hyco, Mayo, Staunton River, Roanoke River. You got lots of other rivers and creeks. That's going to be cool for that kind of mid-Atlantic, southeast, eastern southeast there. The June 6th and 7th is the one we can't talk about yet, but July 11th and 12th will have the Smalley Showdown in the Upper Mississippi. Again, these are all the potential options for your Freedom Squad takeover. Smalley Showdown at Upper Mississippi is true world class, 1A, according to a lot of people who fished, like, let's say, the Wisconsin River, the Susky, St. Lawrence, and the Upper Mississippi. Most everyone says this is it. So it's above La Crosse, where it starts getting pulled up. In Minneapolis, above Minneapolis a little bit. So, and then August 15th and 16th, we actually might be changing this location. I'm not going to say where yet, but so we'll skip that one. But we're going to keep the same weekend. And then Broodstock 2 is an Allegheny adventure in Franklin, Pennsylvania. People are going to be shocked at the size of the fish that come from the lakes around in the Alleghenies there, north of Pittsburgh, Allegheny River, and whether it's Lake Pymatumee, Wilhelm, Arthur, they're all there. They're all incredible. So go check it out, guys. That's next year's schedule already out for you guys to be planning things like that. And there you can see or keep up with our standings too if you want to see. We're trying to do it right, man. You can see we're doing it right here, putting a lot of time and energy into all this, and hopefully the anglers are appreciating it, and we'll keep growing this thing bigger, because I think we can keep getting bigger non-endemics into this sport, and we could eventually have like the old boondoggles and KBFNC. I think KBFNCs where we had 750 at one point. I think we can get this up to 400 or 500 people, and because we let everyone fish basically within an hour of the host location, got rivers, creeks, several lakes usually in bounds. I think we can definitely, you could have 400, 500, 600 people in this thing, 700,000, and people can still find their own space, their own water, and not be just crammed. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's see. Yeah, I see people. So what I like about, I think, was it Trevor earlier in the comments? Someone said he's excited for the, Trevor said that takeover would be awesome as long as it's not too far away. Let's say less than a 15-hour drive, preferably. That is the attitude, dude. Most people don't want to drive 4 or 5 hours, and I'm blown away because, JT, everyone listening, how many times do you live on this earth? This is
one time, baby.
There we go. One time. I mean, if you do not, like, when are you ever going to go fish the Wisconsin River or the Upper Mississippi or anywhere on that list that we, next year, the Allegheny, River and the lakes there? When are you going to go fish it? Let's say you live 10, 12, 14, 15 hours away. When else are you ever going to go fish these world-class fisheries? If not for then, when we've got all this planned, everyone come together, a big party, you're never going to do it. So you literally never going to go fish these places, these world-class places, just live in your little, like, I know it's hard. It costs time. It takes time. It takes money, but driving an extra 4 or 5 hours to me to get to fishing that's 10 times better. It's so worth it, man. It's so worth it. Cause it just is. I mean, and everyone who's done it, once you're there, you'll be so grateful and you'll start to learn that you can trust where we're going. The very first thing we look for, guys, is epic fishing, good fishing in the area. That's our first number one priority. So, and not every single place is going to be as epic as others, but you got to go all around the country. So question. So you're not returning to Wisconsin, not next year. We're not returning to Wisconsin. We are going to, let me actually look here. You can't, look how many states there are, even on the central of the country over. Look how many states have bass in them. You can't just, are we not going to Wisconsin? Yeah, but St. Cloud, Minnesota is not that far from Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all.
Well, and being a new series, you want to hit the highlight, the places, you want to keep growing it. Sure, I'm sure he'll be back up there sometime 3-4 years down the road. But probably for now,
next year after,
it's giving. Drew is giving us, and I actually had a live about this a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of funny because I did a live stream that says why I fish bass tournaments even though I suck. Because what other reason are you going to put on yourself other than being an aspiring pro who dives into all that? Yeah. If you're just a guy like me, it's not just a reason to go to a destination, but it's a reason to go there and hang out with other people who love the same thing you do. Yeah. So it's not, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go to Florida and go fishing. Well, that doesn't mean I'm going to see a guy like Drew or Shrenko or Jeff Little or the people that we all kind of watch on YouTube and, follow, or each other, the various different, folks in the kayak YouTube space and so forth and so on. The more we all start getting involved, then maybe more of those guys will show up too. And maybe somebody that you want to meet in person and get an autograph and do an interview with, or have a conversation with, or get to know, or, stuff like that. Yeah. So this is a reason to take your time and schedule to go do it, so that you can not only go do it, but you go hang out with a bunch of cool people like
Yep.
Cairo and Trevor and Sly
Yeah,
Fox and
man.
all of this
All you
who
guys.
get together at these kind of things and, get together and go do them. So it's
Yeah,
funny. I
because
put that video out and then I
yeah,
catch a top 5 and then I win my first derb of the year the week after that. So I should have made that video a lot sooner about talking about how
yeah.
bad I suck at tournament fishing.
Hey, man, you never know. Wisconsin Riverfest could be. All the stars could align. We'll see how it
Oh,
goes. But the thing about this is, and Parker Fishing's on here now. His comment. He says St. Cloud isn't one to miss next year.
yeah.
Ryan Parker is leading our AOI, so I would take his word for it. But it's just, man, after COVID, everything went virtual, and we
Yeah.
just stopped humans are meant for actual human interaction, not cell
Yep.
phone, not FaceTime, not this. This is great, but we are not. God did not make us for that. He made us to actually be in person and fellowship in a family, and that's what this is kind of trying to bring back.
Yep.
But I get that it's, you know, you got to have a lot of good justification and reason. It can't just be just a tournament. We want to make something a little bit different, like with the
Yep.
fellowship and all this stuff going into it. So if you focus on tournament fishing as just the tournament, just the winnings and how you did, you're always going to walk away most of the time feeling like you've lost or a loser because only one person wins. You know what I mean? I mean, I
Yep.
guess a number of people get checked. So, but the majority of the field does not. So you either need to realize that and you're going for other reasons and to learn, like you said, and rub elbows and get experience in terms of your tournament fishing. Sure, that's great. But some at some point you're going to, have unfortunately a close loved one pass away, or you're going to get sick, or your family, or someone, you're going to lose a job, or something is, and you know what? Who you're going to need to rely on or people in your life that you've, like obviously we have this common bond of kayak fishing and fishing. So someone that that you can call up, you can go see, and you can sit down and they can listen to you, and having these friendships develop at these events is what's special to me. It means the
Yep.
most because there's a lot more things important than fishing, right? So which fellowship and the family and the brotherhood and camaraderie and just like PTSD, all that's a real thing. People need to talk
Yep.
and get it out. So it's really cool to see a lot of the anglers getting to know, having some of their best friendships come from, someone they met at this series or just someone that they've just continued to grow a friendship with because they keep seeing them. And then eventually they stay together at the Airbnb or the hotel or whatever. And it just
Yep.
becomes like this cool,
I'm telling you,
almost
dude,
therapeutic.
we just met a young former infantryman, young guy raising a family, who was in a Pelican and was looking for something a little better. And I sold him an Old Town 120 that I had just to give him something a little more stable he can stand up in. He still paddles.
Mm-hmm.
You would think this kid is just night and day. He's spent a lot of time on the water with my brother, just being able to have somebody to talk to that gets it. And that's what I love about this entire community from top to bottom. We're not full of a-holes. We're full of people who care, that will share, and just enjoy our time on the water too. I know you got sick family, so I can't keep you too long. I kept you longer than I said I would.
That's all right, man. I get fired up.
Dude, bro, trust me. Give me your thoughts. What are gonna be the 5 top baits that are gonna catch the most fish up there on the Wisconsin River? Can you I know you're not fishing it, so you're not giving anybody any
I'll give you
juice.
I would say
what do you think is gonna be what catches them up there?
It's still topwater season, so I would say that's always a good option. Burning a big, either whether it's a spook, you kind of almost like choose your poison. What you prefer, if you're a walking bait or a buzz bait or a chopo kind of style bait, it's kind of like choose your poison. It's either going to be a big topwater bait that gets a lot of bites, maybe in the morning or something, low light, but they'll hit it all day long if in the right areas when the water's shallow enough. And then the other one I would say is, chatterbait's always good for smallmouth. If you find some stain in the right area, chatterbait's good. Or chatterbait or spinnerbait.
I know Jeff and Schrenko are going to be throwing their flukes, sending jerk shads.
Yep, that's what I was going to say next. The scented jerk shad is another good one that I was going to suggest. I might even have one sitting here. Excuse me, I do not. But but yeah, Ascended Jerk Shad. It's I actually posted a video from the Susky kind of showing off my little double
Oh, that's right. The
frog
double
hook.
hook.
Double
Yeah.
frog hook. It's on my YouTube or Instagram. You can probably check it out.
Yep.
It's on
Yep.
Z-Man posted it. That's kind of cool. It's and I'll share at the Bash U brunch. I'm going to share with you guys how to rig that because it's
Okay.
not a Z-Man hook, and unfortunately they don't make a double hook. But so you have to use a different hook for it.
Okay.
But it increases your hookup ratio. There's so many things are better with that hook with a scented jerk shad. So and it's a 7-inch scented jerk shad, so it's a big bait. That's going to be a winner. I think if you're hunting big fish, just 5 over 2 days, I think a big swim bait has to be in play here. And if that's not 5, I will say a jig. If you get around an area with some wood, could have said it like for if you're going to go largemouth fishing, if there's a vegetation surface.
I ain't going to chase no largemouth.
Yeah, I didn't think you were, but if anyone is in the Lake Wisconsin,
Yep.
I could say the frog bite is always good this time of year too, because all the vegetation is tapped out. So if there's lily pads and vegetation in Lake Wisconsin that's topped out and thick, a frog could be good. But anyway, the jig could be good around the wood and stuff like that. Crawfish jig is always a winner for me. I like that little Pro Crawls from Z-Man with that TRD, the big, TRD Pro on the back. Sorry, I said the Pro Crawl. I think I meant to say the Power Finesse, the cross size Power Finesse jig with the Pro Crawls trailer, but I cut like a quarter or half-inch off of that Pro Crawls. But that's awesome in for smallies. It's just a little finessey, a little more bite size. That's what I would say. But that's
we have to see what happens, don't we?
Yeah. And we'll see what happens.
All right, brother. Well, I will let you get back to your fam and take care of them because I know you got packing up to do. You're heading out soon, and I'll be driving up first thing Wednesday morning, and I can't wait.
If you can, share the screen one last time.
Oh, yeah, sure will.
We're going to share one more thing with you. If I know you're doing your thing on October 4th and 5th, but guys, if you want to come, Broodstock is going to be. It's our finale. It's a championship in the sense that we give away the AOI prizes, but it's just a finale. It's an open event to anyone. We've rented out the National Corvette Museum. You're going to,
oh, wow.
We've also rented out you can see the Chevrolet Theater inside that museum is epic. You also are going to get a chance to ride go-karts and cars on the National Corvette Museum Motorsports Park that we've rented out and paid for. So you guys can go-kart on us for our opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies in Bowling Green, Kentucky, guys. So it's very central to everybody. It's not far from you guys at all.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys come on down.
I hate that we're going to be out of town.
Yeah, that is going to be epic. So I may, if I don't see you guys in the comments, if I don't see you at the Wisconsin Riverfest, I will hopefully see you at Broodstock. Unfortunately, I won't see you, JT, but next year we'll definitely have to plan a few events because all it takes is 3 events, 2 regular season and that Broodstock every year, Broodstock for AOI. And that's not a lot. I know you got national or regional and local trails people fish. All we require is simply out of our 7 events, just come fish 2 and then that finale. That's 3 if you're going to be in the AOI hunt. So hopefully we'll see you there, and maybe we can see you in the AOI hunt or the team of the year.
I have to ask you before we go, in case you got a pack, do you have an extra GoPro that you can sell a dude because somebody films with something else?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I got to use one. I could probably hook you up with a real good deal. We'll see.
I just need something other than my other standard that don't like to overheat. I haven't played with the 12s yet, so I haven't gone back. But
and I've got
a while back. But
I got a cool new accessory. I don't think I have it here, but maybe I have one. I don't. But I'll have to show it to you. I got an accessory.
I'll let you try to sell me on them again.
It's a heat cover, and it does a better job. And we've kind of solved some of the problems on the overheating with the GoPros with it. So we'll get you taken care of. But remember, you don't have to even film with GoPros at the Kayak Adventure Series. You can film with something else. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll still take all that footage. You can even use your cell phone and just hold out and just talk about your fish. Hold it out, landscape if preferably, but vertical is fine. But landscape because it shows up better on the big screen theater. And then let it go and just show us how stoked and excited you are to catch that fish and in the moment and get it on the big screen. And
I'll let you show me all the heat shields and all that too. I might take a trip back down that lane again
pretty
too.
Cool, man.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I will let you get out of here. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Everybody watching, thanks for joining us tonight. If you can't get to Wisconsin, get up to Broodstock, and we'll do that too. But All that being said, as always, get outside when you can and make some memories. I know I'm getting ready to. One
For sure.
cast at a time.